never let it be said that I'm quick on the draw when it comes to timely videos, but I figured it was worth it just to talk about the new Samurai Pizza Cats game. Not that I'm some sort of hardcore gamer, what with my ability to bathe and talk to women, but I do love a good throwback game. So imagine my shock that Samurai Pizza Cats, which is about as well remembered by the modern world as the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, was getting a new video game. Now, yeah, it did have a game back on the NES, but that was Japan only, under its original name and concept. Alright, fine, let's back up for a minute. This is a big tangled mess, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. The original series was a Tatsunoko property called Kyato Ninden Teande, or Cat Ninja Legend Teande. It was your sort of screwball comedy with a heavy lean on current Japanese pop culture, or at least current for 1991, which made it fairly impenetrable, especially for an audience that didn't have widespread internet access. What's Teande, you may ask? Well, like so many Japanese exclamations, there's not really any actual translation for the word, especially since it's an archaic turn of phrase. You could say it'd be like, what the deuce, or maybe like, bless your heart, in the southern style, where bless your heart means go fuck yourself, but that's neither here nor there. Needless to say, the main character, Yataro, says it, like, constantly. In the original, Edoropolis is a feudal futuristic city populated by animaloids, which is why everyone has dull joints and you'll sometimes see x-ray shots with metal and not bones. Just go with it. The local shogun is named Tokugawa Ieie, which is screamingly funny if you were born in 1580, I suppose. He's not particularly good at the gig, which is why he has a council that's constantly scheming to try and usurp him and his daughter, Tokugawa Usako. The head of the council, a fox named Kitsunezuka Kon no Kami, has his eyes on the throne, and Palace Commander Guard Inuyama Wanko no Kami has enlisted the help of the three cat ninja named Yataro, Pururun, and Tsukashi to stop the conniving fox. Alright, you with me so far? Great, now forget every last pun and wordplay joke you just heard, because we're going to overwrite all of it. Little Tokyo is a feudal futuristic city populated by cartoon characters, which is why everyone keeps spiking the camera, and mouth flaps are more of a suggestion. Just go with it. The local lord is named Emperor Fred, who communicates through scat singing and saying his own name. Naturally, he's not very good at the gig, which is why he has a council that's constantly scheming to try and usurp him and his daughter, Princess Vi. The head of the council, a rat named Seymour the Big Cheese, has his eyes on the throne, and Big Al Dente has enlisted the help of three cat samurai named Speedy Cerviche, Polyester, and Guido Anchovy to stop the conniving rat. It was a real 90s production, to be certain. Sources state that a lot of the original material was pretty ragged, aside from the original footage. Some of the scripts were too dense with untranslatable references, some were just too poorly translated to work with, and some were just not there. Record keeping is important, folks. And keep in mind, this is a time when fax machines were the fastest things that they had. So, no real scripts to work with, barely coherent characters, and even the music was a bit on the overdramatic side for what they were planning. After all, Teande was a little bit more serious than the oddball screwball comedy that Samurai Pizza Cats ended up being, and the music was a hard mismatch. So they scrapped it all and went back to the drawing board. 52 episodes later, and a lot of cutting and pasting to get the show legible and remotely airable, not counting the several episodes that completely got the axe for a bunch of reasons. It hit the airwaves in the UK and Canada in 1992 and went syndicated in 1996 in the United States. As the trial run for shows like Power Rangers and its successors, the series proved that the concept was sound, and Saban carried on with those, proving to be later extreme successes. Which was good, because the show didn't really set the world on fire in Japan, as seems to always be the case. Once the rights reverted back to Tatsunoko after getting ping-ponged around for decades, Discotek Media earned my business in perpetuity by putting out Samurai Pizza Cats on DVD and later Blu-ray. But ultimately, it was more of a curiosity than it was anything I'd recommend in good faith. After all, it's very silly, and the severe cutting that makes itself abundantly obvious as the show goes along makes this particular video editor a little bit on the twitchy side. Or maybe it's all the flashing lights, who's to say. So fast forward to a couple weeks ago, and this trailer drops into my Blue Sky. At first, I was just happy to know that all the voice actors were alive and happy to work on it still, and was really impressed with the way that they cut the footage from the original show into the... Did the Big Cheese just stretch out the aspect ratio? Now hang on a minute, this line work is fuzzed, but it bears the telltale signs of modern animation. But they got it so right that they had to have...
You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Alright. Okay, yeah, so this is serious business now. Hand-animated, Ganbare Goemon-style platforming? Hell yeah, dude, this is great. And, you know, I'm not too far off with the Ganbare Goemon reference, especially since Lucille, or Omitsu in the original, is just the Goemon character Omitsu with ram horns and a thermonuclear hairdo. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good time. However, notable by its exclusion is the music. The music of the series did a lot of heavy lifting in setting the tone of it, and at this point, I really haven't heard any of it. So remember how I said the music did have to get redone, though? And remember how I said that Power Rangers was kind of involved in that as well? Well, there's a hitch. Saban Entertainment, who made its bones back in the 90s with shows that followed the Samurai Pizza Cats formula, was responsible for the soundtrack. Now, Saban has split and merged and rearranged itself a few times since then, so a reasonable expectation would be that the music is hiding under a half dozen layers of other people and rights holders. And oh boy, does that shit get so messy so fast it makes me head hurt. So once again, the Samurai Pizza Cats may be on the prowl for a new composer, tragically enough. Now, rights may be the issue, or maybe the originals haven't been adequately preserved, but either way, it's kind of par for the course for the Pizza Cats, ain't it? They may just have to redo the whole OST from scratch. Incidentally, the music that they've got in the trailer sounds an awful lot like Get Along from Slayer's Season 1, but that's an aside. Regardless of any of that, I'm hopeful to enjoy something that is so clearly beloved by the people who are working on it. It looks like they got the whole schmear here, so I'm excited to see what they actually come up with, and hopefully this gets more eyes on the property and we get some sort of revival down the road. But who's to say? The game isn't out and it could suck, though I have my doubts, considering it looks like it's in a scope that is abundantly reasonable, and the people that are making it probably aren't going to say this needs to make more money than God to be successful. But I've been wrong before. Either way, hail to the O Pizza Cat, please ring your little bell. Although you may be pen and ink, we know you'll fight like...
Pizza Cats! Samurai Pizza Cats! Oh yeah!
Who do you call when you want some pepperoni?
Samurai Pizza Cats!
Right on! They're stamping out crime and you know that ain't baloney. They're Speedy Cerviche, he's the leader of the bunch.
That's right.
A heck of a fighter, makes a heck of a lunch. And little polyester, who's never afraid
That's me.
of going into battle when the bad guys invade. Here's Guido Anchovy,